What would be the most masculine sound you think a man could make?
Ooh, no. No. Okay. Try number two. Okay, I think the most masculine sound a man could make is like I like a no. Why am I serious? It's like a serious train report and like a serious like or a good laugh like a good laugh. I think that's the good one. A good laugh is the most masculine sound a man can make.
Love it.
A proper laugh, like
Give us the most proper masculine laugh you can get.
that kind of laugh. That kind of like it goes into your stomach a bit. Like that's a good proper. That's a good a proper masculine sound that a man can make. Okay.
Okay, Clayton, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. How are you doing?
I'm doing great actually. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah, excited to have you.
Yeah.
How's your art going?
What again?
How's your art going?
My art is going interestingly at the
Hmm.
moment because I've been I've been working a lot. My work is very intuitive. Like
Hmm.
I just work and it comes naturally and I make decisions in the work and as I work. But recently I've had a switch. Like I realized that my mental state, my how I'm feeling, what I'm going through is
Yeah.
reflected into my work. And I didn't realize how much it was until recently. So that's fun and interesting because now it I don't know how to go into detail about my work anymore because it suddenly had a switch and I had a realization about it and I'm like, oh, Jesus, that I'm like, how do I talk about it when suddenly there's a switch that I wasn't prepared for, I wasn't ready for, and I found something new in my work, and now I'm like, ooh, now I need to figure out how to explain this, how to bring it forward and talk to teachers, other people about it. So
Hmm.
that's interesting and fun, but also like a bit stressful because it's like all my preconceived notions about my art are a bit like no longer no longer valid. So that's fun because now I got to figure it out, see what it means for myself and all of that. So it's fun, interesting, but stressful at the moment.
Yeah, but it does sound like you're kind of rediscovering yourself through
Yeah.
the artwork. Like you're really having a conversation with the pieces.
Yes. And I think that's a thing that is always great. You know, when you're having a conversation with your art, I feel like it gets better. And I don't always do it. Like it's not a consistent thing. Like I don't always have control over it. But now that it is happening, I feel like yes, the art itself is also a bit stronger. And my old art isn't bad in any way, but now it's even a bit more stronger, a bit more interesting for myself. I at least I hope for other people when they see it also, but for myself at least it's a bit more interesting. It plays with more stuff.
Yeah, because did you discover something about yourself that you didn't know through the new works?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's first of all a need for structure. Like I've always known I'm a bit of a chaotic person. Like my brain is there's a lot going on in my head and also in life like I always have a lot of stuff that I'm doing and getting this I get distracted super easily. But in my work just showed me no, but you want structure. Structure when you do something with a little bit of structure, I don't need to be super OCD or anything, but giving myself some structure genuinely makes me feel more comfortable, more at ease with just a little bit of extra structure.
Hmm.
It helps the chaos be a bit more under control, and I think that's something I recently found out, where it's like a little bit of structure can make your chaos feel a lot better.
Hmm. Oh, it's interesting because you're now, I feel like stepping into a chaotic realm where you're like, your art is a bit more out of control. But at the other time, you're discovering structure.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting, the duality of it all? Like
Yeah.
it And that's the thing. I still don't know how to talk about it because it's so new for me. It's still so new. Of yes, the structure, but also it's getting more chaotic too at the same time. But it
Hmm.
feels also better. It feels more like it's heading into a direction. It's going somewhere, and I don't know where yet, which is fun.
Okay. And where do you feel like you're now going on to an unknown journey?
Hmm.
Where do you kind of feel like it's heading?
Um, where do I feel like it's heading? I think I think it's heading into a more comfortable direction. When I
Okay.
say comfortable is like the art itself comes easier,
Hmm.
but also it's a more comfortable work working and making the art almost. Like before there was a lot of not a still not a lot because I always work out of my intuition, out of what I feel needs to be made,
Hmm.
but there was still a lot of thinking and theorizing about what my work is about for myself. And I feel like now it's going into a more confident trust in yourself, and you can doesn't need to be theorized all the time. It's great for understanding and talking to teachers and other artists about it, but at the same time it doesn't need it anymore. It doesn't need to be taught through as much almost. Like all my work right now, I'm not really sure what they're about fully. They're playing a lot with contrast, like contrast between wood and metal, like also still playing with that fantasy, that deep core of fantasy in there.
Yes.
So to me, it's very interesting now because it's more comfortable for me as an artist in this workflow, in this like having structure, having clear, natural materials too.
Hmm.
Which it's interesting. It's fun. It's very fun.
I like that you say you're still trying to look for this fantasy
Mhm.
element in it,
Mhm.
because it feels like you're making it more realistic by putting a lot more emotion and
Mhm.
yourself into it
Mhm.
unconsciously. But then, because you still have this fantasy in it,
Mhm.
do you feel you make the fantasy kind of realism in this way?
I hope so. I'm not sure yet because I feel like we all have fantasy in us. We all enjoy fantasy, whether it's like realistic fantasy or like absurdist fantasy. We all have it. We will all want it. We all enjoy it. It's a core part. Like since the day you are born or the day you realize you are a human or who you are, you enjoyed watching this. You enjoyed this fantasy world. You enjoy playing imaginary games. So to me, it feels like it's a core part of everybody.
Definitely.
And those who try to push away from it, I feel like they're taking it's like taking a piece of your own soul
Oh
and
yeah.
just throwing it out when you try to push away your that fantasy, that wonder in you. So
Hmm.
I try to not throw it out but embrace it. Like try my best to embrace it, especially in my work. Especially in my work, I try to embrace it to keep that small spark of when you look at it, you're like, huh? Huh? Or it makes you think. It makes you like doubt whether this is reality or not. And I like that. I enjoy that.
That's nice. Yeah, I feel like fantasy worlds and movies in general, they give us an insight in who we are on a very abstract kind of level, or a very playful level almost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be kind of interested. Like, what kind of fantasy character would you create for yourself?
I've thought this through a lot.
I know.
I've thought this through a lot. I'm still I would be a wizard. I would be a magical man. But the more I thought about it, I think I would be a magical artist still. So
Okay.
like I would like to like create things with magic that do cool as shit. Because to me, like I've when you think about it, I think there's a core part of me. I think for you too, most likely, there's a core part of you that likes making stuff, that likes putting things into the world and that people can see. And sometimes it's for people to enjoy, sometimes it's tell them something important, but I feel like there's this core part of me that likes creating, that drives me, that makes me happy. And I think to have magic to like incorporate into that and like make it even more like next level or more interesting, or like the possibilities, the endless possibilities of a artistic mage just screams out to me. And I think it would be so cool, so cool.
It would be awesome. What would be the first thing you would create with magic
Okay,
when it comes down to an art piece?
I think I would make a flaming column, but I think in the shape of either like I think I want to go very classical art with this one. With the first one, I want to make like a almost a flaming unicorn out of stone, and like there's fire coming out, a fiery main fire, and like it's almost, there's a Pokemon like that, Ponyta or Rapidash if I'm not mistaken, but I want it to be like a clear image of power, you know, like since you're a mage, since you control the elements, for me at least, it's like to create an image that is just pure power and just have it. And this is the thing, I don't even want it to destroy or fight anybody. I just want it to walk into the in a city. Like I want it to be the thing that makes people, when they see it, they feel the strength of the place they live in. They feel the power of the area they are in. So I don't know. That's what I feel. That's I think
That's
would be.
interesting. So you really want to empower also the people around you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because I think that also comes from like the time we live in. There's a lot of just sad and shitty shit happening in the world constantly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason I feel like I want to empower, if I can in that way, empower people, because I'm not how do you say, uh I don't know, I'm not really into like telling people how to live or what to do. And I think the human condition is both doing good and bad. Like even though I and something a thing that I always need to say, I don't believe there is bad or good. I think there's actions and reactions. So your actions have consequences, and sometimes it's perceived very negatively, sometimes it's perceived very positively, but it's just an action, because it's always about perspective whether something is good or evil. So for me, because of that, in the world we live in, there's so much happening. It made me think, yeah, if I want to do something, let's empower, let's make people feel like they can get stuff done, like they can do their whatever the fuck they like doing, they can do it better and better every day. And I think that'd be fucking great.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah,
It's very nice goal to have, I think.
I think too. But I think it's actually a lot harder than you ever realize to how to genuinely empower somebody without telling them how what it means to be powerful or strong.
Yeah.
Because and I think that's where art comes in very great. You can be
Oh
as
yeah.
vague as you, if the you can be very vague, so it fits into everybody, but also you can choose you can approach it in so many different ways.
Oh, definitely you can. And I think that's really a privilege you have as an artist to really create something that can empower or maybe gonna enlighten a lot of people.
Yeah, and it is a privilege, but also aren't it is, yeah, it is such a big privilege to get to.
But you have to be an example, I feel. Like if it comes from someone who is struggling,
Mm-hmm.
like you get art that's about struggle,
Mm-hmm.
and it can maybe be something you recognize yourself into. You can like, oh, I'm also doing this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then because you see what he does, you can kind of look at your own life in this third perspective kind of viewpoint.
I do think it makes it a lot more powerful when they are an example. Like if your art is about being happy and stuff like that too, like show that happiness, show that live, embody that positivity. Or if your art is then there is the other side too. Now I think about it, like if your art is about sadness and and your depression and stuff, like because you went through it, it connects more. But I also don't want you to live in it, because when you live in that mentality, in that negativity, it can affect not only your art but yourself so badly.
Oh yeah.
And that's the double-edged sword of it, like when you embody what you do, like you're an example for what you do. In the positive light, it's great. In the negative light, it can be very worrying and scary.
Yeah, but you can kind of discover yourself in that way. I kind of see through your art like, oh wait, hold on, this is going on.
I do think, yeah, yeah, yeah. But isn't that the only way to grow? To go through struggle, like the only way to grow is to struggle. If everything is easy, why would you change? If everything always is good and easy and works out, why would you change? It's the struggles that make you be a better person or better you, to
It
be
is.
honest. It's the struggles. And yeah.
No, but that's the thing about embracing, like, I think uncomfortable feelings and thoughts.
How do
That
you mean,
really
how do you mean embracing them?
seeing them as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about physically hurting yourself or like
Yeah.
putting yourself into super dangerous situations.
Yeah.
But for example, if you're very socially anxious,
Mm-hmm.
you can sit in your room all day you want. But if you never get out there, like put yourself on the pedestal
Yeah.
and speak to people, you're never going to be that social person.
No.
I once had like this mushroom trip, and I sat there because I did suffer from social anxiety quite a long time. Because I always was afraid people were going to laugh at me.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and I realized, but hold on, laughing is the best emotion a human can experience. So
Yeah.
if they're laughing at me, then they're laughing. It's good.
Yeah, it's
It's
something
actually
positive.
good.
Yeah.
So why should I care?
Yeah. I think that's why I think things like shrooms are very good, because they if you're in the right mental state, because not everybody can handle it. But I also had a same kind of experience on shrooms where I was sitting there. I felt very physically sick. After I ate, I wanted to throw up, and I was worrying about throwing up. And then my brain went, "Why are you worrying about it? Why are you stressing about all these extra things? You don't need to. It's just a natural state of things. Accept it, do it, and you'll be fine." And it was one of those snap moments in life where after that day, for me, everything is like, yeah, sometimes I don't have control whether I get like angry or emotional about things, but at the same time, I just go, it's life, accept it, learn from it, move on, like take it in, breathe it in, take it in, and then go on. Like accept it, send it, move on. Like, and I think that's why these shrooms are so good, because it takes you out of your own head. It gives you some perspective.
Oh yeah.
It gives you good perspective, which everybody needs.
Oh,
To be
definitely.
honest, everybody needs good perspective.
Did you ever kind of experience this ego death during a shroom tip,
What do you mean with ego death?
where you kind of look at yourself and you're not yourself anymore? I would describe it. I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I did not feel connected to my body at all, but not in a very negative way. It was kind of looking at my own body. And it was like, I'm not that body. I'm something more than this body. And then I realized all my thoughts that I had at that point, they were just this cluster that was Gijs. But I was this something else. I was looking at this cluster of thoughts, like really grabbing the thoughts again, trying to, like, I really had to think of who I was to kind
Yeah.
of get back into my body.
I don't think I've experienced that. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I can say I had this disconnected feeling from who I am, and like it was like I became a impartial third party. I will say that I have that, but I don't know if I've experienced the ego death at all, because to me it is that feeling of I'm no longer this person. But to me it almost just as fast as I realize I'm an impartial third party, I become back me, and then it just there's moments of I get super impartial and I see the whole picture that is who I am and my thoughts. But there were also moments where I was fully experiencing myself, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I'm not sure because it switches. It was at the time it kept switching. There was both moments of both, and I think it's just a great experience.
It is.
It's such a formative experience. It was a formative experience for me. Those few times that I did do shrooms, 'cause it's fun. I don't know. It was a formative experience for me. It's like, huh? It gave me a lot of perspective on who I am and what I do. Why do I think? And it's not big steps. It's not like my personality changed fully, but it gave me those first few small steps to start not overreacting to life, not getting angry, not like letting things affect me as much. Like, yeah, if you have no control over it, why stress and like lose your mind? Sit back, breathe in, see what you can do to fix your situation.
I think that's a super wise lesson
Yeah,
that people need to learn as early in life as possible.
yep.
Because when did you learn this lesson?
I think this was like maybe last year.
Last year.
Yeah, it wasn't a long time
Oh.
ago because I'm for a long time like I'm not a person that gets angry or anything, but I didn't get why people acted certain ways sometimes. My brain just didn't comprehend. Like I'm like, but it makes no sense. Why would you be like that? But the thing is, it was just that the laser focus on. But this is logical. This is not logical, but this is common sense, right? Like just assuming things and thinking that this is how things are supposed. Like I didn't get it before. I feel like until that day when it just clicked. It just made sense. Like yeah, why are you angry at the world? Why do you get angry because something bad happens to you? Things bad happens to everybody every single day.
Yeah.
Literally every day somebody's going through something. So it's like that click that made the switch for me where I no longer got like super down on small things happening like or super angry at things. Like I try to just okay, what is going on? Try to accept it, try to understand. And that doesn't come easy. Like when something serious happens in your life, it's still fucking hard
Oh yeah.
to control, get yourself under control and accept it. But you need to do it or you're gonna stay on the point, it's gonna keep like attacking you in your mind the whole time and bring you down the whole time. So but it
Yes.
was like last year ish, yeah.
Okay. She always seemed like this very chill, happy dude to me. So I felt like, oh, he's probably